Yes, we have now two chapters on this novel, Hard Times by Dickens. The previous lecture, I think today, chapter 3 and 4, right? The previous lecture, we explained or discussed on the introduction about this novel, Hard Times by Dickens, and also we explained about questions with answers in this novel. In addition, the main theme or main idea, and now we note about this clarification includes a number of questions, right? This lecture today are just two chapters, 3 and 4. This lecture was previously explained in a previous lecture, and today we will just repeat and clarify some questions with explanation about chapter 3 and chapter 4 from book 1. Okay, now it's two chapters today. It's clear now, two chapters.
Yes, clear.
Okay, a summary with analysis for this chapter. A previous lecture, we explained about just main theme. The main theme in this novel, it's very important in your exam. Just generally, okay? This novel is a severe satire and criticism on the mechanized war and the bad effects of the Industrial Revolution, as well as the materialism and utilitarian philosophy. And its representative, Mr. Gradgrind and Mr. Pounderby. The questions for this introduction that is what is the main theme of the novel Hard Times by Dickens. Right now just those two men اللي هم Mr. Gradgrind and Mr. Pounderby, those two men believe in facts they ruthlessly. يعني Mr. Pounderby and Mr. Gradgrind, they ruthlessly معناها in Arabic just يؤمنان اللي هم مستر Gradgrind and Mr. Pounderby. They ruthlessly يعني exploit, exploit the poor. There is no pity or love in their hearts. This is number one for main theme exact. It's okay. Number two, secondly, Dickens criticize the educational system at that time اللي هي احنا اتصور طرقنا لها البريفيوس lecture two schools represented by the school of Mr. Gradgrind's school and Mr. Pounderby school. Okay, in this school children are frightened rather than being taught. Okay, Thomas Dickens now typical school, and that school where children get learning and enjoy of their time. This is number two. Number three, Dickens criticized the divorce of law and other civil laws at that time through the character of Stephen Blackpool. This man could not divorce his bad and drunk wife to marry his angel like beloved Rachel because he was poor. Okay, now we have just one question. This is all explanation for just first question. What is the main theme of the novel Hard Times by Dickens? Second question, explain in brief about the nature of Mr. Gradgrind's school and what does it represent. يعني بين كل هاي الأحداث، أو بين just briefly أو summary. أوكي، باختصار أو بإيجاز about the nature اللي هي الطبيعة of Mr. Grady Grand School and what does it represent. شنو تمثل؟ We are, I am explained in a previous lecture and focus on this questions exact. Okay, two schools. For example, Dickens presented two schools of facts represented by Mr. Gradgrind and Mr. Bounderby, and the school of fancy represented by the circus people. The school of facts is defeated. Defeated. Why? Because life is impossible without love, warmth, imagination, and love. Okay? Now, the novel ends with everyone lost something or some people except the circus which goes on. Though in the standard of the utilitarian philosophy is useless, but it is giving people of this city اللي هي الكوك town all happiness. Okay, now yes, Muhammad وزهراء, why too late now? Yes, just the reader here اللي هو Dickens might be solutions for these problems. The novelist اللي هو الكاتب الروائي، دائما نقول النوفلست هو الروائي، الدراماتيست هو المسرحي. Okay, the novelist wants to say that life is not merely facts and it is impossible to live without love. Okay, now today chapter 3 and chapter 4 explained about the summary and analysis for these chapters exact with a critical comments. We have also with a previous novel, the same previous novel, we have chapter 3, many titles in this chapter and critical comments in this chapter. You have who explain about the summary or analysis for chapter 3 and 4 together. We have because these two chapters the same events in this novel, right? Now, yes, who can tell me about summary or analysis for these chapters? Yes, Ramle. Yes, go ahead.
Yes,
Yes, Ramle, go ahead.
summary of this chapter. Mr. Gratbrain went
Yeah.
from his school to his home, Stone Lodge, but
Yes.
on more just outside Cookie Town, a great
Yeah.
town in northern England. He talked with the satisfaction
Mm-hmm.
about his school and his children, about how he intend all all the
Uh-huh.
policies in the school to
Yes.
model bubbles and how he believing his town children to be model uh, of his
Yes.
structuring.
The title in this chapter. Who is the title of in this chapter exact? Chapter 3.
Um, Mr. Cracky,
And this is the chapter 4, but chapter 3 unlawfully. Yes. Yes, continue.
is about and how he believing his one children to be
Yeah.
model of his structure, structurally
Yes.
rational
Yeah.
and
Yes.
practical.
Uh-huh. Yes. In the third chapter, we see that some of the seeds. What does it mean? Seeds that Gradgrand has sound appear to have taken root on his way home. This is summary for this chapter اللي هو Mr. Gradgrand on his way home from school to his home. I think he has five children. Two children اللي هو منه Louisa and
Awesome.
Tom. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Yes, continue with explanation for the same events, two chapters. Yeah.
Reaching out secret of
Yeah.
Cookie Town on his way home, Mr.
Yeah.
Crackdown heard the unexpected sound of band music from a traveling circus.
Okay, thank you very much. That's enough. Thank you, Ramla. Another student. Yes, Haura. Yes, Haura, go ahead.
Yes, Doctor.
Yes.
Summary Chapter 3.
Yeah.
While walking back to his home, a property named Stone Lodge, Gradgrind catch his two eldest children spying on
Yes.
the circus through a peephole in the fence. Having raised his children according to his philosophy of fact and having permit, uh, permitted
Uh-huh.
their own imaginative inter
Imaginative. Yes.
intermittent Gradgrind become furious. He dragged the young Tom and 16-year-old Louisa home. Louisa
Ah,
admits
yes.
curiosity drew here to the circus and tries to defend his brother by saying she dragged him there. Paul, all Gradgrind can do is ask angrily what Mr. Ponderby
Ponderby.
wants
Yes.
that.
Thank you very much, Haura. Thank you. Yes, another, just both of them, just two chapters, the same events. Yes, Aye, go ahead, Aye.
Yes,
Analysis and critical comments, that's okay. Yes, Aye, go ahead.
Mr. Gradgrind walks back to his home, called Stone Lodge. He thinks with the satisfaction about the education of facts that his unique children are receiving both at home and at school. But he cannot believe his eyes when he sees his two children, Louisa and Tom Gradgrind, dipping into circus tent. This
Mhm.
circus, by the way, features a horse rider named
Yeah,
Singular Job, who seems likely to be Say's father, in accordance with his beliefs that children should focus solely on facts and not on imagination and fun. He
imagine.
angrily offers
Mhm.
them away from the circus. Louisa, who is 16 and a good doll, uh, older than Tom, speak.
Thank you. Thank you. That's enough. Thank you very much. Thank you, Aye. Another student, please just one in third chapter. Yes, Ali Abdul Rada, go ahead. Ali.
Yes.
Yes, Ali.
As analysis of chapter 3,
Yeah, continue.
the very name of the Gradigan household reflect how stone its owner
Yeah,
part is yes is
Master
society
House.
of the
Exactly.
children.
Yeah. Master
Yes,
House. Yes.
the circus. Yes, of satisfaction.
Mhm.
The, the the first time Mr. Gradgrind is presented with evidence that children imagination cannot be stamped out of entirely by Argus education of fact. He's not
Yeah.
happy about it.
Mhm.
Louisa's unwillingness to impress her father belief about evident
Yes.
circuses and the
Mhm.
way in which they stand up upright away for her younger brother
Mhm.
forecast her attitudes in both of those areas an adult the
Mhm.
ridiculous
Aha,
way
yes.
in which Mr. drag
Very
drag
good.
his children away.
Ridiculous.
Yes,
Yes, very good.
yes,
Mhm. Mhm.
away from the circus show how little they understand the nature
Uh,
of the children. God
yeah.
final comment about Bound Derby indicates
Boundary.
that
Mhm.
yes agrees with and
Uh,
foreshadow Bound Derby importance to come.
thank
That
you
is
very much.
the
That's enough, Ali.
thank
That's
you.
enough. Thank you. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank
Noor
you.
Muhammad, go ahead.
Appreciate.
Yes, Miss.
Yes, go ahead.
Seeing his children in the circus, Rima Rickbally in the first time that Mr. Gradgrind has provided evidence that
Uh-huh.
children imagination cannot be completely eradicated by rigorous education of facts. He is not happy with that. Louisa
Yes.
on
Mhm.
Louisa on willingness to embrace her father
Nice.
believe
Yeah.
about avoiding circus and the way in which she stands up right away for her younger brother for kissed her authorities
Mhm. Yes.
in both of this arise as in
Mhm.
adults.
Yes.
The ridiculous way in which Mr. Gradgrind drags
Yeah.
his children away from this circus shows how late he on their
Yeah.
stranded
Huh?
the
Uh-huh.
nature curiosity of children.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Noor. Yes, Hussein. Hussein Salman, go ahead.
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, Hussein, another
Uh,
events? Mm-hmm.
let me speak a brief of the chapter 3
Oh, okay. Go
and
ahead.
gave same question for the student.
Tamam. Okay.
In the
Perfect.
first line of the novel, we see the Mr. Gradgrind return to home.
Yeah.
The novel speak about the home, the lodestone.
Mm-hmm.
If we see the house and his window and the furniture, we see his halfway he wealthy and very rich.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, and in Cooktown is about some mile of the Cooktown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He return and see the camp or tent of the circus,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and he want to see the children, the peeping of the from the circus.
Mm.
He say in himself, maybe I know these children in the school. They are absent, and he walked to him and catch him. But he in this moment he surprised because he see Louisa and his brother Thomas.
Yes, Thomas. Yeah.
He was very angry because the circus and the music and like that is forbidden for him.
Mm. For pity and for
He
him. Yes.
was very nervous and very angry from Louisa.
Yeah, why? Why, Hussein?
I want to ask the student. There are two
Ah,
reasons.
okay.
There are
Okay, okay,
two
okay.
reasons,
I know.
not one reason.
Yes, yes, I know that very well. Yes, okay. Continue.
Thank you, doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That's my question.
Uh-huh. Yes. Anyone? Yes, anyone can answer, Hussein? Uh, yes, another student. Yes, Hajar. Hajar.
Hello, Miss. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Miss, sorry, أني عندي summary وعندي analyze, but not answer for question حسين.
Oh, no, no, no. Just another student. Thank you.
Okay.
Ahmed, you have just answer for these questions. These two questions, one question. That's okay. Ahmed?
Excuse me, doctor. I have a small summary.
We have summary. Zahra Jabbar, also the same. Yeah.
I think I have answer, but I don't sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
uh,
Yes.
yeah. Louisa, who is 16 and a good deal older than Tom,
Mm-hmm.
speak clearly in defense of herself one year.
Yes. 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 Yes, Zahra. Thank you very
Search
much.
complete
Uh-huh.
here to get a glance of the circus and try to clear his brother of any blame by saying she brought him along.
Mm-hmm. Yes, good. Like this, but not exact. Yes, thank you very much, Zahra. Yes, Hussein, you can answer all students these questions. Yes, Hussein, go ahead.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, and the first question you can answer.
Because the Louisa is
Yeah.
adult girl, and he
Very
want
good.
to marry him to Mr. Bounderby.
Oh, yes, very good. Thank you. This answered like Zahra, I think, like Zahra, exact. Yes. Second question.
Because the circus is not the fact, and not true.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much. That's okay for Hussein Salman. Thank you, Hussein. Thank you very much. Yes, Ahmed Sattar, go ahead.
Yes,
As you know, Mr. Bounderby is a picture of an influential man. This description for Mr. Bounderby, described as Mr. Bounderby like a bully of humanity. In Arabic هو ثورة الإنسانية اللي هم يطلقون عليه اللي هو مستر باوندربي describe as a bully of humanity. Mr. Bounderby is a picture of the influential man. Okay? Yes, go ahead, Ahmed Sattar. Yes?
yes, doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, doctor. Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening, doctor. I have a small summary. I am
Yeah.
pick up it from these two chapters. Let me tell you it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, doctor. Doctor, on his way to Mr. Gradgran, he walked from his school to his house, which was built on outside the city of Cooktown, which which lay in the north of England, and he was thinking about how to set his students as role models and models of his strict uh, approach
Yes.
to education. On yes, doctor. On unexpected sound hears music from your traveling circus. He is caught by a group of children trying to immerse themselves in the circus with Tom and Louisa looking on. He
Ah,
yes he asked them what they are doing, what they are doing, and Louise recalls she wants to know what it would be like their inside the circle. But he
Yes,
thinks, yes, doctor. But he think what their friends and Mr.
yes.
Bounderby and Mr. Bounderby are
Mhm.
think are think are thinking, and
Yeah.
is agreement which agreement.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. We know that. Yeah. Mhm.
Uh,
Yes. Okay,
Another,
Ahmed.
yes, I
Yes,
want to
you
finish.
have.
Yes,
Yeah.
a large old man
Mhm.
in late middle age stand by the fireplace in the drawing room and tells Grant Grace
Mhm.
in part way the story of his life.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you very much.
Right?
That's excellent today. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hajar Sarhan. Yes, go
Yes, miss.
ahead, Hajar. Mm-hmm.
Okay, miss. After dinner, James Harton takes Tom back to his and handing him a drink and cigar.
Yeah.
Converses with him as a ghost to extract information from him about Louisa. He learns that Louisa married Bounderby not out
Yeah.
of love, but for Thomas' sake to help him advance and
Mm-hmm.
to ensure that she could help him out financially, given his frequent money troubles. Tom adds that Louisa would probably do anything for him, a point upon which Tom displays some satisfaction. Tom's established home at the end of all this talks, drink, and smoke, and the narrator darkly hints that the night's conversation will have their consequences on all parties involved.
Very good. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Yes.
I
What
have
would
analyzed.
you have analyzed? That's okay. Now, what would Mr. Bounderby say in chapter 3? Here, one sees that Mr. Gradgrind, though, or Bounderby, just retired from the hardware business and now a member of parliament is impressed by the wealth and influence of that time. يعني هنا هو مستر باودربي هو رغم بأنه retired from the hardware business and a member of parliament هو يكون رجل برلماني لكنه لا يزال تحت تأثير سلطة المال والثروة اللي هو يتمتع بها عندما كان شنو a business of factory. That's okay. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Miss.
Hajar, another no, another
Yes, Miss.
student is now. Thank you,
Okay.
Rania.
Okay.
Yes,
Rania?
yes, miss.
Yes, go
Yes.
ahead, Rania.
Analysis for chapter 4.
Ah,
Mr.
mhm.
Bounderby, physical description corresponds to his internal qualities. His huge, swollen body is representative of his huge, swollen ego. His
Yeah.
story of having lifted himself up from nothing helps justify
Yes.
both his ego and the state of the economic system. Mr.
Economic system. Yeah, very
Economic
good.
Mr.
Mhm.
Bounderby
Yes.
personality seems to
to demonate Mr. Bounderby, who seems to trust his friend's
yes.
wisdom and is willing to do whatever Bounderby suggests. Bounderby sees anyone with any fancy to them as
Yes.
a potentially the unusual interest that Mr. Bounderby shows in Louisa, and that he asks of her when she leaves, as young as she is. Indication of his interest in Louisa as a potentially a future wife.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you,
Thank
Rania. Thank you very much. That's excellent. Thank you. كرار Muhammad, go ahead.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Just I need to explain main participle grand philosophy.
Philosophy. Yeah.
Mr. Grand expounds his philosophy of culture rational self,
Yeah.
and he believes that human nature can be governed by completely rational rules. Is ready to weigh and measure any parcel of human nature and tell you it come to his philosophy.
Philosophy. Yes, utilitarian philosophy. Yeah.
Has brought Mr. Grandrade much financial and social success. He has made his
social success. Yeah. Yes. Yes, Karar.
yes, he has made his fortune as a hard way. And I tried that abroad deals in hard material. Reality he becomes a member of parliament.
Very good.
That allows him indulge his interest in tabulating data.
Yes, allowed. Yes, and emperors. Yeah. Very good. Yes, continue.
About the people of England.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Karar. خلاص.
Yes, doctor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, خلاص. Good afternoon.
Summary chapter 4. Mr. Bounderby.
Yeah.
The same Mr. Bounderby, a wealthy, boastful industrialist who owns factories and bank. It's at that very moment in the drawing room at Stone Lodge.
Yeah.
A point indicating to the pale and lethargic Mrs. Gradgrind about his poverty-stricken childhood. Bounderby never fails to talk at length about this subject. He reminds Mr. Gradgrind that he was born in a ditch, abandoned by his mother and raised by a cruel, alcoholic grandmother. At this point, Gradgrind enters and tells Bounderby about his children's misbehavior. Miss Gradgrind scolds the children, half-heartedly admonished them to go and something logical. Bounderby theorized that Sissy Job, the circus intern's daughter, who attends Gradgrind's school.
Very good. Mr. Gradgrind, yes, very good. Scolds the children for having misbehaved. Yes, and ask them to go and be something logical. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Bounderby theorizes that Sissy Job, that circus intern's daughter, who attends Gradgrind school, may have led the young Gradgrinds astray. Gradgrind agrees, and they set out to inform Sissy's father that Sissy
Sissy
is
Job.
no
Yes, thank you.
is no
Yes.
longer welcome at the school.
Mm-hmm. Who is Sissy Job? Who is Sissy Job?
The girl of circus
Very
family.
good. Is the daughter of a
Yes,
circus performer, and because she could have been responsible for exciting Louisa's circus about it. It is decided by Gradgrind and Bounderby to expect CC job from the school in the interest of other children. Thank you very much, Ikhlas. Excellence. Thank you,
thank,
Ikhlas.
thank you.
Yes, Tuqa Ahmed, go ahead. Tuqa.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Boundary, philosophical description
Bounderby.
corresponds with
Tuqa.
Bound,
Bounderby.
Mr. Bounderby, a philosophical
Yes.
description correspond to his inner qualities,
Yeah.
his huge soaring body is,
Mm-hmm.
is representative of his huge swelling age.
Presentative.
His,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
yes, his story of having lifted
Mm-hmm.
himself up for nothing helped justify both his echo and his set of ecosystem. Why have any but form they worked if
Yeah.
Bounderwood was able to take himself from even
Uh-huh.
greater
Mm-hmm.
poverty to his present wealth.
Yes.
Mr.
Oh.
Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Bounderby presently seems to bound
Same.
his
Mm-hmm.
Mr.
Yes.
Grandparent, how seemed to
Mm-hmm.
trace his friend wisdom and willing to do hateful boundary, suggesting boundary says anyway with any fans to to the to them is bounter danger.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Fatima
Thank you.
Jum'ah. Thank you, Fatima. Go ahead.
Yes, miss. Good afternoon, miss.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Bounderby
Also, Mr. Pounder B. Or another event you have,
is, yes,
just description for Mr. Pounder B. Exactly. Summary or critical comment, or you have analysis for description.
not hear here.
Yes, Fatima, go ahead.
Yes, miss. Mr. Bounderby is a friend to Mr. Grange, and he was 2 or 4 years younger. Then Mr. Grading, my Bounderby is self-made man. Who make himself by himself. He was a mischief bounder man faker.
Mm-hmm.
And he like to and he likes to talk about his past and who he was poor and has nothing to life.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking with Mr. Grange, who was laying on a sofa.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
she
Oh,
has
okay. Oh, okay.
she has nothing except her
Yes.
sicknesses. In the
Mm-hmm.
in the moment, Mr. Gragent entered with his Elderen. Mr. Bowenderby asking about that Louisa told him about.
It Mr. Grudging said why they went to see a circ when they
Okay,
have
Fatma, that's now. Yes, thank you.
thank you.
That's enough. Uh, Zahra Salim, why too late now? Zahra Salim, why? Why too late now? Just join with us. Okay, Zahra. Yes, Abul Hassan, go ahead. Abul Hassan Salah, go ahead, Abul Hassan.
Yes, دكتورة.
Yes, Abul Hassan, go ahead.
Chapter 4, Mr. Bone Derby.
Also the same event. يعني حفظناه ترى مستر باوندربي كله description. Do you have another events for these chapters? Exact chapter 3, chapter 4, you have another event? Hey, that's okay. Any chapter you have, but different events. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, يلا go ahead.
Lawful, while walking back to his home, aboard Baratilli, Namestone Lodge, Grand chased his two children Spain on this cirque through a peaful in the fence. Having raised his children according to his philosophy of fact and having
Yes, very good.
no imaginative
Yes.
grand because furious his grades. The young Tom and 16 years old Louisa admits that Steve draw her to the Turks and tries. Yes,
thank you أبو الحسن, thank you. بعد بنات مريم go ahead. يلا مريم.
Yes, miss. What is the moral of novel Hard Times? The moral of
the novel Hard Times, yes.
The moral of Hard Times is that life plot complete of on the basis of fact and limited and a new happy grand great refaces his children, Tom and Louisa to live it allowing many and to the lives inter article false.
Yes, thank you مريم رحيم. Right? مريم رحيم؟ هذا اسمك؟
Yes,
Okay. Thank you. بعد بنات any events استغلوها ترى هذا كلش بسيط يعني كلها the same events. مروة علي حسين. Go ahead مروة.
Yes, Victor. Hi. Chapter 4. He has bragged that laws and facts are the most important thing in life and all closer. The people should follow this boundary and live fantasy.
قصدك يعني مستر باوندربي؟
Boundary.
Yes.
Boundary and live fantasy because imagination is nothing and the laws and philosophy and Mars boundary. He uses has philosophy to clothe more money to reach other positions.
Yes, thank you, but the same events I think مروة. بس أنا راح يعني أشر على اسمك بأن أنت شاركتي بس هاي كلها أحداث يعني جاي أشوفها تكررت وجاي تكررون بيها. أنا أريد أحداث جديدة يعني قلت لكم different events in these chapters 3 or 2. أوكي، إذا ما عندكم أحداث لا حد يرفع إيده، يعني no raise your hand. بس إذا عندكم another events that's okay. ريتاج go ahead.
Yes, Miss.
Yeah.
Yes. Louisa responses to Mr. Bounderby's taking of additional significance when viewed through the lens of her eventual marriage to him. This moment reveals Mr. Bounderby's special affection for Louisa that
Yes.
appear only fatherly at this point. Indeed, in their marriage,
Yeah.
his continues to treat her more like his children, his child,
Yes,
than his wife.
Yes, accurate. Yeah.
His wife. Her reaction also reveals how she has always found her repeatedly, to the point that she would rather rub a hole in her face than
Yeah. Okay.
write on her person any avoidance of contact with him.
Okay. Thank you, Ritaj. Thank you very much. Now, من بعد أيوب زهير. Yes, أيوب.
Yes, Doctor. Good evening.
Good evening, أيوب. Yes, go ahead, أيوب.
Chapter 3.
أيوب.
When Louisa say she is tired of everything, her father dismisses the comment as childish, particularly because she cannot explain what exactly she is tired of. The implication, of course, is she is tired of the rigid on dimensional education she has been receiving and amusement-free life she has been living, but the subject are not be discussed. Rather, she is shaped in silence and readers.
Yes.
My infer such preset emotion will inevitably case a problem more serious than he thought it, big into a circus tale.
Yes, thank you, Ayub. Yes, you have 2 lectures, just 0 now. Okay, now you have hard work. Yeah, thank you very much, Ayub. Another student. ريتاج زهراء حسين, do you have another event?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, okay, Hussein, go ahead.
Mr. Bounderby say something about his mother, and he is livid, and take him to his grandmother. And he says his grandmother is old woman and very bad and worst women.
Very good.
He say it's very like monster, and he all drink every day and every night, and he sometime drink and load and lie in this on the bed and drink before the breakfast 14 cup of
Very good.
food.
Yes, because she has
and he and I want ask a little question here.
Yeah.
His grandmother like a monster, and he was asleep, not in bed. Where he was asleep?
Where
he was asleep.
Where he was asleep. Yes.
Thank you.
Good questions for your friends. Yes. Which one can answer? Yes. Which one can answer? محمد جواد. Yes, Muhammad.
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah, go ahead, Muhammad.
Yes. I don't know, Doctor.
Why raise your hand?
Doctor, I have a summary chapter 3.
Okay, now, yes, Zahra Jabbar, you have just answered this question.
But I have another idea about all.
Oh, okay. Yes, Hussein, you can answer. That's comparison. Yes, Hussein.
Sorry, doctor. I think as Karar has answered.
Yes,
I ask him.
Yes. Where? Yeah, Karar. Yes, Karar, Muhammad, you can answer.
يس دكتورة، بس أنا ما أقدر أفتح المايك لأن رفع إيدي، ما أريد أفتح المايك قبل لا تقولي لي.
Okay, Karar. Yes, you
Yes.
can answer, yeah.
Yes, doctor.
Go
The
ahead.
answer.
The answer for these questions.
Yes, egg box. Yes,
Sorry, Karar. Repeat.
Yes, doctor. The answer of the question, egg box.
Egg box. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Egg box. Yeah, thank you. It is okay, Hussein?
Excellent, Karar.
Thank you very much, Hussein. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Excellence. Thank you. Muhammad Jawad, go ahead. You have just a new idea or another idea, another events for these chapters or no? Same idea? No. Okay, please. All students, the same events or the same idea? No. Okay? Muhammad Jawad? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, Muhammad.
Mr. Grand walks back to his home, called Stone Logic. He thinks with the certification about the education of facts that his young children are receiving both at home and at school, but he can't believe his eyes when he sees his two children, Louisa, a grad-grand, and Tom, a grad-grand, peeping into a circus tent, the circus tent by the way, future horse rider named Sinora Job, who seems likely to be Sai's father.
Thank you. Thank you, Muhammad. Thanks a lot. What's your name? Muhammad Jawad. Yes, thank you. Just a minute. محمد. شوف بس اسمك بالقوائم. Okay. Oh, you have two lectures, zero, Muhammad. Why? Just now. That's okay.
Yes, Dr. James Mario.
Okay. Thank you. بعد فاطمة الزهراء. Yes.
Yes, doctor. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the novel now tries the fox back to Stephen for the first time. Lucifer reason something that might get Tom in the trouble. She don't do it want to missiles but because she sees it important to buy host the reader consist to see how Thomas the education of fact he steering him into bad man. Bounderby can't stand and this any things that does not corresponding to have he since time this the fact he care about he only he fact which support his idea.
Thank you very much. Then all students, we have three questions, but very important in your exam. Number one, first question, explain in brief about the nature of Mr. Gradgrand's school and what does it represent? What does it represent? This is first questions. Second question, what is the nature of the relationship between Mr. Gradgrind and Mr. Bounderby? This is just second. Third questions, هنا نقول Dickens divides the novel into three parts or three books. He calls them number one, اللي هو البوك الأول الساوينج يقصد به اللي هو الزرع and ripening اللي يقصد به هو الحصاد أو الجني. discuss هاي كلش مهمة. 3 questions in your exam. number 1 و number 2 و number 3. number 3 بعد ما نكمل يعني بالفاينل مهم. final exam يعني very important. اوكي number 3 أو third questions اللي هو Dickens divides the novel into 3 books. Why? he calls them وسمى الأول sowing وسمى الثاني reaping وسمى الثالث اللي هو اللي يجمع بين الساوينج والريبينج اللي هو جنى يعني يجني. أكيد من يحصد ويزرع راح يكون يجني اللي هي السيدز البذور. أوكي والفيرست كويشنز اللي هو قلت لكم الاكسبلينيشن على المستر جرادجرانس سكول وشنو تمثل هاي المدرسة اللي هي what does it represent. هاي كلش مهمة. والنمبر 3 اللي هو العلاقة relationship between Mr. Gradgrind and Mr. Bounderby. أكيد هاي الكويشنز أنا راح أجيبها لكم بالإكزام أسوي لها paraphrasing. أوكي يعني نفس الأنسرز بس يعني مو نفس الكويشنز أسوي لها paraphrasing. أوكي now you have هنا منو عندنا الأمين yes الأمين محمد go ahead.
Yes, miss.
Do you have another events for 2 chapters? I think no. All events you call.
Yes.
Yeah. الأمين. Okay. زين. منو هنا عنده another events? Not some events. أحمد, you have?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, another event. Another idea. Your opinion. That's okay.
Another question.
You have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay. Which?
Yes. What is Bounderby's proposal to Gradgrind to prevent Louisa and Tom from going to the circle?
Sorry, عيده حتى يفتهموا الطلاب.
Yes, doctor. What is Bounderby's proposal? Proposal.
Yes.
Yes. To Gradgrind to prevent Louisa and Tom from going to the circle.
Prevent Louisa to going to the circle, right?
Yes, right.
Who can answer? Ahmed Sattar. Who can answer? Ahmed Sattar. Yes, Hussein. Can you jawab?
Yes, I think because he loved Louisa and we had want marry.
Yeah.
And
yes,
he wanted to do and say anything for take his love because she not love him.
I think you have troubleshooting in your mic. I think that you have some problem. Which one? Said Ahmed Lo Hussein. You have some problem in your mic. Yeah, it's now. Okay, I'm not understand anything, Hussein. Because I think
not me. My voice is clear.
I think Ahmed Sattar, you have just a troubleshooting in your mic.
No, I not have any problem.
Which one? Which one? Because I have not understand your answers. Yes, Hussein, go ahead. Yes, Hussein.
I think because she don't love him and he won't take his love. Because we see in the last the chapter the Mr. Bounderby kiss Louisa and she after he leaving she clear his face because this kiss is not good for her.
Case to Louisa and in the last chapter I think that in the last chapter Yeah.
No. Chapter 4. Last chapter 4.
Yes, I know. The last chapter, chapter 4. Yes, I know. Yes, Ahmed Sattar, that's okay?
Yes, doctor, but I have another idea.
Okay.
Okay, no
Yes.
problem. This answer.
You
Yes,
have another idea. Which idea you have?
yes, my idea that boundary prevent an explanation for Tom and Louise behavior, and he has a solution. Explains.
Behavior.
Yes,
Yes, Tom, and
yes,
Louisa, behavior. I
yes,
think their
yes.
behavior. Yes, Ahmed.
Has a solution. Yes,
Thank you. Thank
yes.
you. It's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Hussein. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
اوكي شباب عندكم مشكلة بالمايك بالله طفوا المايكات انا ما قاعد افتهم اي شيء اوكي ناو عندكم هنا الامين يس raise your hand الامين why raise your hand but not answer to me yes Rania
Yes, Miss.
yes go ahead Rania.
Major theme in hard time.
Oh, I know. Just explained in the previous lecture and now also. Yes, okay.
Yes, the novel exposes oddity, human nature, subject to change in different situations. Bounderby has built a house of guards around his self-made life, showing his true nature. And even Diswin, his win mother.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. On other hand, the philosophy of facts. Yes, of facts propagated by Thomas Grant fails.
Yes. Okay, Rania. Thank you. That's okay. Thank you very much. It's enough now. All these the same events and next lecture we explained about just chapter 5 or 6 and 7. Yes, do you have any question, any problem? Which one just not understand our lecture today? Or that's okay. I think I hope you have enjoying with our lecture today. Now we will just check list for attendance and absence today. Abu Hassan, no. Al-Amin, yes. I know. Al-Amin, yeah, attendance.